Hey everybody, Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger here, and I'm here for another video of VEDA Video Everyday August 2023. We are pretty much in the final stretch of this month, final stretch of videos. My hair is all wacky and wild because of it. So I just wanted to talk briefly about the World Basketball Cup, the World Cup of basketball. It started 2 days ago, and Puerto Rico had its first participation, its first game of the tournament at 4 in the morning. I tried to get up or at least stay awake to try to watch it because, as most of you know, I'm a big sports fan, especially basketball fan, especially Puerto Rican basketball fan, and I wasn't able to watch it. I woke up earlier and saw that Puerto Rico won. I actually saw they had to make a comeback. They were trailing by 10 points at one point of the game, like at halftime, I believe it was. And they had to come back and go into overtime to actually win the game. And they won by like 5 points. They were playing against South Sudan, which was the African nation champion. And they're ranked number 62 in the world, and this kind of pisses me off in a sense because a lot of fans were like, oh, well, it's the number 62 ranked team in the world. Puerto Rico should have won by double digits. And it's like, there's still a team good enough to be a champion in their region and to be participating in the World Cup, Any team can surprise you. If they're good enough to be in the tournament, they're good enough to be competitive. They're going to be a very competitive team. They are a championship team. And some fans are just like, like I read in the comments, some fans are just like bedside coaches, because not even couch coaches right now, because since it was 4 in the morning, a lot of people from what I read were just watching from bed. Sorry, my cat Puchita's here. But yeah, you have to kind of like lower it down a little bit. Like, it was funny reading the comments because I always kind of like to read the comments when Puerto Rico wins a game, especially when they're losing in the first part, because you see kind of like the whole transition of laugh reacts when Puerto Rico is losing, and Puerto Rican fans being like, I knew it, Puerto Rico was going to lose, what a disgrace. This Puerto Rican team needs to be blown up and started from zero. They have to get rid of the coaching staff. They have to get rid of the organization. Puerto Rico shouldn't even have a basketball team. And then when the team wins, it's like, oh, I had faith in my team. I knew they were going to win. And there's the odd one, relatively genuine comments that are like, well, at least they shut me up. Let's see how they do in the second game. It's always, fandom is such an interesting thing. I've always found fandom, not just in basketball, but in general, fandom can be such an interesting thing. Anyway, if Puerto Rico wins their second game is against Serbia. If they win that game, they're automatically going to qualify to the second round. That's a very tough team to beat. Every team is a tough team to beat, especially since Puerto Rico is a very small team in terms of height. They're not a very tall team at all, though historically Puerto Rico has never been like a tall team. Like, a lot of players that would play center or even power forward would be like on the NBA, like a small forward or something like that. Or a center would probably be like a small forward, power forward. Like, we really haven't had many true centers. And we haven't had many true centers since the era of Jose Piculín Ortiz, and I think pretty much the last like true center the national team had was Peter John Ramos. I think he played for Washington at one point for a time. I know he made it to the NBA in the aughts, in the early 2000s. Danny Santiago was another one but he was pretty much from that generation of last like true centers the team has had. Anyway, that's all for my basketball rambling for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.